at Arms will restore order in the gallery. Sergeant at Arms will restore order in the gallery.
Well, okay there, and welcome to Scary Ideas, episode 16. I'm Tim Wexelbaum. I am an amateur comedian from America. I'm also an amateur podcaster and an amateur karaoke singer. I'm best probably at karaoke and worst at podcasting, so if you're listening to this, I apologize. I'm pretty bad at it. This is a call-in show, by the way. But you know what? I'm too lazy to get anyone to call in, dude, so it'll just be me. However, if you'd like to call in, the number's 773-800-0120. You can call anytime while this show's live. Usually airs on Saturdays and gets released on Sunday or Monday. Anyway, as you may know, 2019, I released two stand-up comedy albums on Spotify. They are very low quality in terms of content and audio, because I don't work very hard on material, and because they are recorded on my phone at open mic. So, this has set a very low bar for which I would like to try to improve on. Now that, I'm 7 years into stand-up, I feel it's time to start working harder. I doubt this will happen, but I would like to. I also plan on improving the audio quality of future albums. To do this, I purchased a portable audio recording device. It's a Sony PCM 810, and it was about $220. Look how small that shit is, dude. It could fit in your pocket. That's pretty badass, because I don't plan on lugging around anything larger than that to open mics and shit, The audio quality is really good. It's way better than my iPhone, and it records in stereo. So I'm pretty excited to start using it. I also bought a little tripod for it, so it'll make it slightly, above whatever surface it's on. And that way it'll not just be sitting on a dirty table if someone spills beer or something, dude? From me making them laugh too hard or something, what I'm talking about. It's got 16 gigabytes of internal storage, so I can put many sets of material on it before having to import them to my computer. Anyway, enough of this technical mumbo-jumbo. I do have to plug another podcast that I'm going to be on this Wednesday at 10:30 CST. I'll be on a show called Nobody Likes You with Dale McPeak. It airs live on Facebook on the People of Comedy Network. I listened to the first one. It's a very new podcast. It was very good. It's where people in the Chicago comedy scene get to write in questions anonymously about why the guest is such an asshole. I think I'm a good candidate to be a guest because I talk shit about other comedians all the time. Anyway, dude, so yeah, that should be a good time, and it's this Wednesday, 10:30 p.m., as I said. And yes, I was saying how I talk shit about the entire comedy scene as a whole, and just how comedy is like it being infiltrated by unfunny fucking cucks who don't know their way, or they don't know how to be funny. They just try to virtue signal and show that they're a good person instead of trying to make the audience actually laugh. All right, we got a caller coming in, and hey, okay, Trevor, how's it going, my man?
Hey, how you doing, Tim?
I'm doing pretty all right. Just talking about how I'm gonna be on another podcast, which I'm excited about. And how you doing?
I'm pretty good. You're talking about that podcast that Dale McPeak made?
Hell yeah.
Oh, I think that would be a suitable podcast for you to be on, Tim.
Yeah, I'm really excited, dude. Like, I think I'm qualified. I just need to I need to increase my profile within the community a lot more by the time I'm on it, so that people have enough ammunition. Because right now, I don't think people care about me enough to care. Like the first guy, he's like legendary. He's just been around a lot longer.
Well, how long have you been around? Haven't you been around for like a few years now?
Yeah, I've been around since like 2012, but like who cares? Like I'm not that obnoxious. Like I would like to think of myself as super unlikable, but you know, in the end, most people just think about themselves and they don't really think about me, probably, you know?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, dude, like it's cool that I'm gonna be on it. I just hope it's not boring. But anyway, what about you? How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm just relaxing at home playing Call of Duty and being banned on Facebook.
You got banned? Oh, speaking of being unlikable, why'd you get banned on Facebook?
Because someone had told a story about how they had one of those robot conversations where it's like a female that says she's like down the fuck and she's into you.
Yeah.
You ever heard of those? Well, I posted one of mine, not realizing that there was a nude in it, and Facebook was like, no.
You posted a picture of you with
video, a whole entire conversation I had.
Oh, okay. So it was a picture of the robot, like a nude woman.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, for a second I thought you meant of you, but of course I didn't put it together because that'd be funny. So I understand. So that happens. I mean, that's a dumb reason to get banned, though. I mean, if it's an accident, they should have just gave you a warning.
Yeah, 3 days I got.
Oh, okay, so you're just in Facebook jail.
Yeah, pretty much. It's horrible.
Is it? How are you even watching this right now?
Because it still lets you like view things. It won't let you. I don't even think it lets you react to things.
Oh, I see. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I do see that you were able to join in, but you can't. Yeah, that's interesting. They're censoring you for posting a screenshot. Yeah, I guess you got to be careful with that.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's not like you said anything controversial. You just posted a nude. It's not that big a deal.
Nah.
Speaking of being controversial, how's your comedy career going?
Oh, it's amazing. I did 2 shows last night. That's the first.
Wow.
I've ever done that.
Yeah.
But one was actually a play.
A play?
It was a comedy play.
Oh, okay. So you acted?
Yeah, technically.
Was it
all I did was play small parts.
Small part. Did you have to get naked in the play?
No, unfortunately not. They wouldn't let me.
Okay, and then so that sounds okay. Was it fun?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then I went to another comedy show, and that comedy show was pretty bad.
Yeah? Which one?
Gosh, I don't even know how I feel. I
get it.
I don't remember the name.
You don't have to say, but the reason I want you to say which one it is so I could talk shit about it so that people have something to complain about to me. But I understand.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah, I'm trying to build my profile of hate. If you know what I mean.
It's called like Joke Oak.
Oh, okay, I've heard of that. Yeah, I do know about that one. A lot of other people talk shit about that show.
It's not like a bad show. It's just the host is
Yeah, that's why I wanted to say the producer gets a lot of flack. I don't really know why. I don't really care that much. Enough like.
Well, he did. He tried to do a whole entire like bit. He had a Santa Claus come out, right?
Really?
A Santa Claus outfit.
Was he the
and he
one?
Did a whole.
Yeah.
He did like a whole entire bit where he just kept telling Santa to shut up, and no one liked it. And he just kept doing it.
So you had some poor guy dress up as Santa, and then he just tries to like be mean to him. He plays the and then so Santa was the they felt bad for Santa.
I don't even know if it was that. Just what he said wasn't funny.
Oh, okay, well that happens. Sometimes, you know, we all do bits that fail. You know,
he kept it. Like every single comedian, he would try this bit.
So Santa stayed on stage.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Santa
okay.
did pretty good.
Santa did well. Okay.
Yeah.
So the comedian sucked.
No, I would just say the host.
Just the host. Cool. Well, I don't have anything to add to that because I feel that you did a good job of painting a picture there. And if anyone wants, I'm sure this will get back. If someone wants to tell the host that we're talking shit about him, that'd be great.
Maybe it just wasn't his day. Who knows?
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to egg you on. That's great. That was a good piece of information that you just gave me. That made me feel better about my bad sets that I've had, my bad bits that don't go well, because I have many that don't go well. You know. What about? So you did well though.
I guess I did okay. I got some laughs. It wasn't. By the time I got up, a lot of people left.
Gotcha. Cool. Anything else going on in your life that you want to talk about?
I don't think I really have anything else.
How's the military treating you?
So, the military's been good so far. This month, all I have is like one of those military ball dances.
Got a ball. Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of boring.
Is it just dudes?
It costs money to go, which is weird.
So it costs money and it's just dudes. What's the male to female ratio?
It depends on what unit you're in.
Yeah, gotcha.
The one that I'm in, probably like at most maybe a quarter are female.
It's not bad. So you got to be careful not to you can't like hit on them, can you? Are you allowed to like date other soldiers?
So how it works is, yes, you can, but they're really not supposed to be in the same unit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like dating in the workplace.
That makes sense.
Really proud.
Makes sense. It should be even more strict about it because you're armed and dangerous, and you have to have decorum, and the country's counting on you. We really are.
And so I don't know. I suppose the biggest issue is if you're sleeping with your superiors, like your sergeants above you. That's like the biggest.
Yeah,
you'll get in a lot of trouble for that.
If they find out, yeah. Otherwise, yeah. Either way, that sounds like the chain of command. You don't want any kinks in the chain of command, because like I said, we're counting on you to have decorum. Like God forbid. I don't know, like a love triangle happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying, I salute you because you're defending our homeland.
Oh, thank you, Tim. You're so nice to me.
Someone
I'm
has
like
to.
The one person you're nice to.
Yeah, I try to be nice to people when I'm one-on-one. It's hard to be mean on this show because, first of all, nobody's listening. So what would I have to gain by doing that? If I had like 1,000 people listening, I'd be so much more high priority about who. But no, I mean, I try to be. I think I just am generally fairly nice, but also, man, can I be a dick when I'm drunk?
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Hell yeah.
Drinking all those White Claws makes Tim angry.
Oh my God, yeah. Right now I'm drinking sake. I'm about to start drinking sake. I'm drinking coffee, but I'm also gonna start drinking the sake. Smells good.
Sake? Like hot sake?
It's not hot. It's just it's like rice beer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like it when it's hot.
They make it.
Regular
Oh, that's
hot.
right. They do make it hot sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Cool. Well, I think the conversation's starting to grind to a halt. So, but thanks for calling.
Yeah, no problem, Tim.
Yeah, dude. All right. Guess I will see you
Good luck.
around. What up?
All right, good luck on your podcast, and let me know about any shows, because I need to get on more, because now I have 0.
Okay, I will definitely try to do that.
All right, thanks, Tim.
All right. Thank you. Peace out.
Peace.
Alrighty then. We had a caller. That's one of our active duty military soldiers, or whatever you want to call them. Use as many nouns as you can, because we got to appreciate the troops. All right. So anyway, I was about finished with my opening dialogue, diatribe, monologue, whatever you want to call it. We're just going to keep plowing through this, because that's how you get better at podcasts. You just keep putting them out. Doesn't matter if anyone's listening. All that matters is that you're doing it regularly. Like I try to do this. I'm trying to do this every week, and then I'm slowly going to get better and better until it's actually worth listening to. Right now it's dog shit. But that callers make it just fly by. Anyway, so like I was saying, I talk shit a lot about other comedians, dude, and that caller was talking shit about somebody who will remain nameless because he's not associated with me enough for me to there's no good reason to say who it is. But it's pretty funny that there's definitely a pattern I've noticed, that he gets a lot of flack for some reason. I don't know. I guess his attitude, or the way he presents himself or carries himself at comedy shows, and the way he produces his comedy show turns people off for some reason. Like, I think the audience might like it, and he might be doing a good job on like a business level, but for some reason, a lot of comics like to talk. I think they're just jealous, to be honest. That's why I don't give a fuck. That's why I want to be on this podcast that Dale McPeak hosts, because who gives a fuck what the community thinks of you? Because after a certain point, if you become an actual working comedian, as long as you don't fuck anyone over in like a real way, you'll be fine. You don't need the scene. You don't need them. If you're just a hanger-on, or who just relies on the scene to help you feel validated your whole life, what does that mean? That doesn't pay the bills. So once you start paying the bills with comedy, as long as you don't like fucking actually hurt anybody in a physical way, if you just talk shit and hurt people's feelings, yeah, it's still pretty bad, but it's also so fun. Not to hurt people's feelings, but it's so fun to talk shit that it's just part of nature to do that. And being a comedian, you want to be stimulated, and then how else do you do that? It's like a musician. What does Miles Davis do to be entertained? He can't just listen to Miles Davis. He is Miles Davis. He has to fucking do heroin. Or talk shit about other musicians, I assume. I don't know. For comedians, we can't just put on other comedians. We can, like Bill Burr, we could listen to better comedians. But after, that doesn't really fill the void. So as a comedian, one way to get entertainment is to do heroin, mushrooms, acid, alcohol, whatever drug of your choice you have. Whatever drug of choice you have, you do that. Or you talk shit. And man, am I getting good at that, dude. I like to go to the Laugh Factory just to like watch people. I go on the balcony and I just peer over the fucking railing and I just fucking stare at whatever comics on stage. I just like laugh at the wrong parts, like in a way that is so fucking like disruptive. But I try not to. It's fun. Anyway, and speaking of talking shit, like on this podcast, like last episode 15, all I pretty much did was critique comedy albums of other comedians, many of which I know. And I think I went pretty easy on most of them, but there is definitely a distinct, a pattern for it, where I only laughed at the dudes' albums. All the chick albums, I was like, this is just feminist propaganda. I'm not saying women aren't funny. I'm just saying, to me, most of them, there appears to be a pattern where they just like to do women-centered comedy. So if it's not for me, you can't blame me for not laughing at it, dude. It's divisive to me. It just is like, yeah, men have dicks, and like a dick is cool, but they're attached to monsters. Like, is that funny? Yeah, to some people. I just don't think it was said in a funny enough way to warrant how divisive it was. You know, it's an art. We're all learning it's a craft. To be funny to everybody is fucking impossible. You can only please some of the people some of the time. So you gotta pick sides these days. And I chose the non-chick side, I guess. I don't try to please women, dude. I don't please women. I gave up on that in 1994. So anyway, but also, no one cares about me, so I'll have to, like I was saying to Trevor, I'm going to have to increase my profile of how big of a dick I am between now and Wednesday to make it a good episode of Everyone Hates You. And to do that, I tried to get Milo Yiannopoulos on this very episode. However, he hasn't responded yet. Man, that would be cool to have him on, and would really be good for my reputation. Milo's a controversial figure for many reasons, but my favorite reason is because he was the marshal of the Straight Pride Parade. That's pretty hilarious, dude, because he's not even straight. Let's read about the Straight Pride Parade, just because I don't really know that much about it. Straight Pride, that's what it is. Straight Pride is a slogan that arose in the late 80s. Used by social conservatives, and it was described as a response to gay pride, obviously, which was adopted in the early 70s. So gay pride came about in the 70s. Straight pride emerged in the 80s. So it didn't take long. I didn't realize that. I thought straight pride was kind of like a newish coined term because of the Straight Pride Parade. I never really knew that it went back to the 80s, the late 80s. And obviously there's backlash and media attention. School policies and court decisions regarding freedom of expression have drawn particular attention, spotlighting individuals protesting school expressions against harassment of LGBTQ adolescents. So there's this, I've heard of this, the Stonewall Riots spark gay pride. Okay, I've heard of the Stonewall Riots, but what is it? LGBTQ history traces back to ancient civilizations, but gay pride is usually associated with the modern LGBTQ rights movement that was sparked in by the 1969 Stonewall Riots in New York City. So what were the Stonewall Riots? Let's go on a tangent. They were a series of spontaneous, violent demonstrations by members of the LGBT community against a police raid that began in the early morning hours of June 28th, 1969, at the Stonewall Inn in the Greenwich Village neighborhood of New York. So, apparently there's some violence there, and gay Americans in the 50s and 60s faced an anti-gay legal system. So, early homophile groups in the U.S. sought to prove that gay people could be assimilated into society, and they favored non-confrontational education for homosexuals and heterosexuals alike. That's reasonable, you know, I mean, I never heard the term homophile. Let's go on another tangent. So homophile are dated terms for homosexuality. Okay, I don't know that. I thought it just meant somebody who was pro-homo. Like instead of homophobia, Homophile would be pro-gay. So most, I thought, but apparently it just means homosexuality. Weird. Okay. So that's what that is, and there's movements around that, and so obviously very few establishments welcomed gay people in the 50s and 60s. I mean, yeah, I believe that. That's not that controversial or scary. So let's go to something scarier. So then back to straight pride. Straight pride as an appeal to ridicule. Okay. The concept of the LGBTQ pride originates as a movement that seeks to blah, blah, blah by being openly identified. Well, this is boring. So then there's these events, and it mentions maybe somewhere the parade. Yeah, Boston, Massachusetts, 2019. The group Super Happy Fun America organized a straight pride parade, and it attracted several hundred participants. That's not that many. And thousands of protesters. So there's more backlash than there was support for it, which I think is pretty funny. This kind of reminds me of how, like, anytime there's a Nazi rally or demonstration or gathering, whatever you want to call it, there's way more backlash and protesters than there are actual participants. Like, not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, you're allowed to protest, and technically you're also allowed to be a Nazi, so I think that's a fine thing, because if it's a super unpopular, controversial thing, why not protest it? Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, there's I think right now there's a huge, there's a what's the word I'm looking for? Hostility towards Nazis, but I mean hysteria. That's the word. There's a hysterical stigma towards Nazism and white supremacy in general, due to the rise of Trump, of the Trump regime, which we've talked about on this podcast, how there's like a Antifa believes that the Trump administration is a fascist regime, which kind of insinuates that pretty much if you're a Trump supporter, you're supporting a fascist regime, which is pretty much synonymous with being a Nazi. So that's why there's so many people who think that there's a rise of white supremacy. But that's bullshit. I mean, I don't think I think the amount of people who are Trump supporters and whatever are not Nazis. I think the percentage is like very small. Jessica Diana said, women-centered comedy's terrible, and to name names. And yes, I will be on Dale's podcast this Wednesday. That's when it airs. I'm very excited. I will go fucking ready to defend myself in the most immature way possible. I'm gonna write down every insult that I know. I'm gonna learn new words for how to hate people, because I don't plan on doing nearly as well as Michael Manker did. He fucking murdered. Like, he didn't look bad at all. Like, people kind of gave up on him, on making him look bad, because he was so fucking well prepared. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna fucking flail like a fucking asshole. But not that I'm expecting anyone to really say anything to me, because I'm not famous as much as he is. I'm not defamed. People respect me more than they disrespect me, because I haven't fucked anybody. I haven't sent any dick pics. I should send like 1,000 dick pics. But anyway, back to, female-centered comedy is pretty, I don't know, is it terrible? I can't say it's terrible, I just don't like it. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean it's terrible, you know? Like, what else? Like, I don't like a lot of things, but I don't really say they're terrible, because it's subjective as fuck. Like, there's a lot of art, there's a lot of music, like death metal. I'm not that into death metal. But Do I hate it? Do I think it sucks? Nah. I just don't get it. I don't like it. Anyway, so the Straight Pride Parade is fucking hilarious. And the reason I brought it up is because Milo was the fucking marshal of it. Whatever that means, he was like the main guy. And that's pretty funny. And this is his Telegram channel where he posts all his shit because he's banned on everything else. He's banned from Facebook, Twitter, I assume Instagram. I don't know what he's banned from. I just know that he posts a bunch of hilarious shit on Instagram, which is a pretty covert messaging app that is run by a rich Russian dude. So they don't give a fuck what you post on there. They don't censor you at all. Anyway, I'm trying to find something funny that he posted about triggering your Thanksgiving dinner family guests. He posts so often, dude. I don't know who runs this thing, but he posts shit like more than every hour. There's something new that pops up my ears. Anyway, I don't know. I can't fucking find the thing I was looking for. Oh, here it is. Each year I'm asked for ideal subjects of discussion with the inevitable woke relative you must endure over your turkey dinner. On previous occasions, I've suggested delicate touch papers such as, when you think about it, isn't it shocking women are allowed to serve on juries? And, if you don't mind, before we eat, I'd just like to say a prayer for our marvelous president. And, I know the gender pay gap is a myth, but have you ever considered that it might be a good idea? Yeah, all those are pretty fucking hilarious. Like, just can we pray for our fucking marvelous I can't say it the way he says it because he's so eloquent. Like, he's funny as fuck. He has a new show on freespeech.tv. That's another place that's has very high quality content. If you're into that sort of content, like non-PC, like Gavin, it's owned by Gavin McInnes, who I've mentioned on this podcast. He's fucking hilarious. Free Speech TV. It costs money though, so I don't really have the actual service. I just watch clips on YouTube, and so that's Milo's show. It's called Friday Nights All Right, and then there's another one that shows Candace Owens or something. Anyway, this Gavin McInnes is one of the funniest commentators in the whole country right now. Probably the whole world. I mean, I don't know. He's pro-Western values. He's the dude who started the Proud Boys. He's extremely controversial, but he's also a huge influence to me. And I guess we could keep talking about Milo. I'm tired of talking. There's a lot of me just talking non-stop. And then he posted this thing about from Fat People Hate. Apparently there's another channel. Yeah, there's a whole channel. Can we preview it? Apparently not. Fat People Hate. Can we go to that? There. Yes, we can. We could preview this channel. This is not going to be triggering at all. It's just a channel called Fat People Hate. It's all. So this is the opposite of body positivity. This is definitely not a woke area of the interwebs. It compares fat people to cartoon characters in a very unflattering manner. It's pretty hilarious, to be honest. It shows a park bench with all these fucking armrests, forcing only skinny people to sit there. And then there's a placard on it that says, in memory of Leonard Ball, who hated fat people, because it's someone who does not want fat people. And then it shows a dude trying to get into a closed store. He throws a rock at it. But yeah, this is very triggering to somebody, almost even to me. But I just kind of think it's funny. I mean, it takes a lot because it's I'm already kind of into the whole mocking, trolling and mocking anything from the politically correct agenda, as we call it. Wow. Yeah, okay, this is just too much. This is too much for me to keep looking at, but it is very silly. So that's what Milo's up to, and I did send him a message. He hasn't seen it yet. I'll just keep bothering him. If there's some report, he'll probably respond. Who knows? He's a busy guy, dude. He's busy trolling libs. All right, let's just watch a little clip of him on Best Moments Part 4 from YouTube and Bill Maher. So, because I'm tired of talking.
He is the controversial senior editor of Breitbart News and author of the upcoming book Dangerous, Milo Yiannopoulos. Milo. Hi. How you doing? How are you? Nice to meet you. Yes. Happy to have you here. You're very controversial.
I don't know why.
Well, we're gonna.
I don't know why I'm lovely.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll find that out.
I don't like when hosts just introduce somebody as controversial. Like it's kind of like a tacky way to introduce somebody.
With an open mind.
It's like you have to disavow them.
Because honestly, I only heard of you about a year ago. You're all of what, 31?
32, but thank you.
Okay.
27 officially.
Okay.
Look how good he looks.
You look like
Bruno. looks like Russell Brand or something. Like he looks like a pirate. He's dresses so good, dude.
But you know, he said he was 19.
You know, I told her to dial down the contouring. She didn't listen. Your makeup lady was just crazy.
I missed it.
You've spoken out against all these people. Like you say, you don't hire gay people.
Oh no, you can't trust them to show up to work on time. Too much drugs, too much sex. They never show up to work. Always making excuses. No.
I don't get it.
Not as bad as women, but no, I don't hire
But
gays.
you know that's not. I mean.
Oh, there we go.
But
well, yeah, but I mean, it's just confusing because he's gay. Like it's like me saying I don't trust men, or I don't trust short people. Like I am one of those things. So it's like saying I don't trust myself. So he's the. It's just funny. It's funny as fuck. I don't know. Like he's allowed to. He's not. I mean, anyone's allowed to have an opinion. Let's see if he explains.
You're easy. You're very easy. Very easily triggered. It's pathetic.
Well,
I think it's really important. It's not just that. But the other thing is, you know, humor isn't how you drive people apart. You know, these sort of policing humor for racism and sexism is utterly wrong-headed. Not just because normally it isn't there, but because that's how we build bridges, not how we break them. You know, when you make a joke, that's how you connect with somebody. You know, you make jokes at the bar, you make awkward small talk. Humor's what brings people together, not what drives them apart. Right. And these basic, you know, fundamental human psychological insights, the progressive left has just forgotten. It was the funniest thing in America. Okay, it was fabulous. But you know what actually hurts people is things that happen in the real world. I mean, I don't go on about it because I'm not a professional victim, but I do get syringes through my door, dead animals through my door. You say you get mean tweets, that's okay. It's not a competition. But what actually hurts people is like murder, violence, you know, that kind of stuff. Mean words doesn't hurt.
Which some people would say you have incited.
What? How?
I'm just saying some people would say.
Well, they would be idiots.
Well,
they would be idiots.
Yeah. Okay. No, and also, stop taking the bait, liberals. The fact that they all freaked out
Wasn't
about
it
this
pathetic?
little impish British fag.
Impish, I like that. That was good on Bill Maher's part, dude. And Milo liked that because it takes balls to say fag, I guess, on TV, I guess. But it's HBO, so who gives a fuck, dude? Bill Maher has already been through the hot water when he said the N-word. You know, he's cool. Like, I like Bill Maher for having the guts to use naughty language.
You schoolgirls.
It's so ridiculous.
Right?
Look, if I am...
You know what?
If I'm any...
Somebody sent me this, which is so funny because they knew you were coming on. Okay. These are some things Joan Rivers, who, by the way, when she died, Obama, the liberal president that we all love, commented. They don't comment when someone dies.
She's a treasure.
Unless they're a national treasure.
Yeah.
He said, not only did she make us laugh, she made us think. Here's what she said on Michelle Obama. Blackie-O, you know Michelle is a tranny.
Wow.
Robin Quivers, bitch, you look like a fucking mudslide.
Nice.
I hate Houston. It's crawling with bugs. Oh wait, that's Whitney Houston.
Damn.
You know, my favorite.
Exactly.
Yeah, Joan Rivers. She also did not give a fuck.
But that's the person we find to be a national treasure. I'm just saying the line is kind of blurred.
Well, that was good, dude. Give it up. I respect Bill Maher a little more after saying that because he did not pull the dick card and like actually accuse. He just said some people would say, "You're yeah, cool. He's cool." The hell is this?
Pathetic man. See where you brought us
Jesus
to.
Christ,
Our
superstar.
ideals die around us, and all because of you. But saddest cut of all, someone had to turn you in like a common criminal, like a wounded animal.
All right, get to the content. What is this? What are we watching?
The jaded mandarin.
What does that have to do?
A faded, jaded mandarin.
I've been talking about this damn thing since 2002, and it's still around. All the promises from the Republicans that we elect to office who promise that they're going to secure our borders and get our immigration system in order. E-Verify has been stalled. Sanctuary cities have metastasized, and both parties are to blame.
I thought she was gonna be like a liberal, but apparently she's against sanctuary cities, and she used the word metastasize. That's a gnarly word. That's a brutal, descriptive way to describe sanctuary cities. So I don't think she's pro that. I don't know this person, clearly.
And yes, I'm looking at you, retired Paul Ryan. And yes, I'm looking at you, Mitch McConnell. And yes, I'm looking at you, Bush family. And yes, I'm looking at you, the ghost of John McCain.
Damn. So she's pointing the finger at the Repubs. So I don't know if I don't know. I guess she's pretty badass. Whoever this is, I never seen this woman before.
If you follow me on Twitter, you know I've been extremely testy with the president about not building the wall.
Yeah.
And I was worried that if you get...
Build that shit. She's like, what are you waiting for, dude? You said you're gonna build it, build it.
The second term, he's definitely not going to keep his promises then. Then it's just going to be, promoting Ivanka's shoe company. He doesn't have to worry about re-election. But I now think he has a different reason to keep his promises second term. In order to keep his base with him, he has to keep his promises. And they're never going to stop impeaching him. It's going to be 5 more years of this. So that's the good news about impeachment. I think people admire...
Why is that good news? So it's pressure for him to actually deliver on his promises, I think is what she's saying. There's a gun to his head. Impeachment is what she's saying is a good thing. Because it'll get him to build that fucking wall.
America for being a country that's free and prosperous, and happy. I hope we can keep it. It was the largest, the most successful, prosperous, enormous middle class. That was really the mark of being an American. We've never had so much income inequality as right now. It's been getting worse and worse and worse, because of all of the low-wage labor coming in. And the rich, the billionaires, there's going to be a certain level of income inequality. I haven't gone Marxist on you guys. If you have freedom, there will be some level of income inequality. But our immigration policy has specifically been to bring in people to compete with the working class and drive their wages down. Every time Americans have been allowed to vote, they vote for less immigration. Going back, maybe it went back before this, but Plyler v. Doe, where Texas said, we don't want to pay for the educations of illegal aliens. 1996 in California, Californians said, we don't want welfare going to illegal aliens. All these initiatives, lots of them, in liberal states. Why am I going through, stupid initiatives? We elected Donald Trump. It wasn't because,
Who is filming this? Can you hold on a little bit better to the... The person filming must be in the very back row or something. They're zoomed in all the way. That's why it's so shitty.
So smooth. He's a reality TV star? Let's make him president. No, it was because of his position on immigration. So every time Americans vote, and most recently the sanctuary cities, but our rulers will not listen to us.
The problem with Trump in office has been that he governs like a very conventional Republican, so the things that he's actually done versus the bloviating and the talk, tax cut.
Fuck, those are cool sunglasses.
You know, yada yada yada. He hasn't governed like a particularly revolutionary populist insurgent. He's governed like any of the other candidates would have if they got in. So the other problem with it also is that how's the president limited? And to get anything done on this scale, particularly with the First Amendment dimension, is going to require Congress and the Senate.
Yes, quite.
Even, I mean, you know, the Republicans in Congress and in the Senate absolutely hate the guy. We'll go along with him so long as it suits them.
So that video was about Republicans criticizing Republicans. That's interesting because you don't often find that. You have to dig deep, but all I did was type Milo, but also I ordered the videos by newest uploads first. That's why these are pretty obscure videos. Like that one only had 18 views. So we'll spend a little more time on Milo because I just want to see a little. Okay, this is a clip from his show on Free Speech TV.
The thing about these furries is they always go very sexual very quickly. And to answer really my questions about this peculiar fandom and some of the things that go on and how people end up this way in the first place is my very special guest. I'm very happy to introduce my guest, Avara Nova. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome, please welcome Avara Nova.
Hey.
Now, love, you are 26 years old. You're from Long Island. You work in retail. You're a conservative Trump supporter.
Indeed.
You got into this about 10 years ago when you were...
How marginalized can you be? You're a furry and a Trump supporter, and you work in retail. Holy shit, dude.
looking for things to draw.
Not that you're marginalized by things that you don't control. I mean, all those things are things that they chose, so I guess I don't feel that bad for them. But talk about being a hated... Talk about a checklist of things that you're not... I mean, the retail thing, that's redeeming. That if you work in retail... That's the one thing that's redeeming about this person. Not that I have a problem with this person, but I don't know them yet. We will. But why the fuck are they wearing a badge that looks like a Nazi fucking badge, or a Jew? Looks like a Jew badge or something. It looks like one of those badges or arm bracelet things, armbands that Jews wore or not. I don't really know. Let's just look up Jew armband. And hopefully we'll get the answer. Holocaust badges. Okay, they are called badges. So, it's red. So we know that the Jews definitely wore the yellow ones during the Holocaust for some reason to show that they're Jewish. I don't really know why. I don't think they did it by choice. I think they did it because the Nazis told them to. So I think that's why. But also, I know that the Nazis wore, like, red bands. So let's look at that. Nazi red armband. Hopefully Google will validate me and not make me feel dumb. Alright, I was right. So if you see in this... Everyone knows this. I don't feel that like did anything not common. Let me look at this. The thing right that in the cartoon picture right here, the Nazis wearing a red armband, and that's what that's very similar to what this furry is wearing on the same arm. So let's give this guy a chance.
Yes, I'm an artist.
Now I have to ask you first of all, because people are going to write to me. They're going to be very upset. They're going to say, what's this thing on your arm? What is this? Is this a Third Reich symbol?
Oh my god.
Whoa. Orange doggo
This is
bad.
nuts. This is nuts.
Might I just say, it's just a paw print in a circle, and that's your interpretation
Oh my god.
of said article of clothing. Now, if that offends people, then they're free to go into their safe space and fine with that.
Okay. So
he's just wearing it to trigger people, basically. I think that's basically it.
It's worn as a sort of open-ended provocation to the sorts of people who want to police your views. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's actually an insignia of a group called the Furry Raiders.
The Furry Raiders. Now, I'm a member of this chat.
I know you
Telegram.
are, and you got a lot of flack for that shit, too.
I did.
Great, now I have to look that. Oh, Jesus. All right, what could that possibly be? The Fur Raiders on Telegram. Furry Raiders. There's multiple results. We could just look at the Wikipedia, the Wikipedia for furs. Furries. Oh, boy, this is scary. So it's a international base group headquartered in Colorado. Their stated goal is to help improve the furry fandom by providing resources and services to everyone so everyone has an equal opportunity. Okay. That's why you're wearing something that looks like a Nazi fucking logo. And then clearly there's actual Nazis in the group. I mean, what a surprise. There's some furries that are Nazis. What a fucking surprise, dude. Jesus Christ. So then it says official Furry Raiders armband, and then based on the design of the Vermacht blah blah armband of Second Life. It's a video game, right? Yeah, Second Life's a game. It's not a game. It's you know what it is. It's an alternate. Oh my god, this is getting deep, dude. So they're comparing it to the design. Obviously, we know it looks like it, but what about them being actual associated with? Like, are they Nazis then? Probably not. Not all of them. So that's just the Wikipedia of fur. The Wiki Fur. And then if we go to the Telegram group, let's preview. It only has 100 members? No, this can't be it. This cannot be it. There's no way Milo knows about it if there's only 100. Come on. Well, whatever. It was probably just banned. It was probably just removed from the Google search results because it's so goddamn controversial. But anyway, let's go back to what this... Let's just let the guy speak for himself.
Tell us what the Furry Raiders is.
It's one of the very few groups out there that's one of the last bastions of sanity in this fandom, as Tu said. In regards to his being cancelled.
The last bastion of sanity in,
Indeed,
your fandom.
And the fandom, you know. Very loose definition there of sanity.
Okay.
Talking about being dressed up as a furry. But, yes.
I think you look very normal.
Oh, well.
I think you look lovely.
Well,
and in fact, if Mother Nature had only had a bit more sense, I think she would have coloured foxes like that, don't you? I think they would have. I think she would have made foxes a little more fluorescent.
Seriously, though, that's what it's really all about. That's why we welcomed you to begin with.
Right. About free expression and all the rest of it. Okay,
Precisely.
fine. It's just a very provocative thing to have on your arm. Some people will say.
Some people will say that, but
But the founder of this group isn't he Thai or something?
The founder of the Raiders, yes, his name is Foxler Nightfire. He is half Thai.
Right.
He happens to be in a relationship currently with someone who is not white.
This is weird.
Not a very good
This
Nazi.
is weird.
He's not the best Nazi in the world.
Not the best Nazi in the world. Okay, fine. Now let me ask you. Ask you the question.
That's what they call him now.
Do you live like this? Are you like this sort of morning, noon, and night? I noticed a little wear and tear on your claws. Maybe that's from something else.
Who's on the right?
Would be expected because these are.
Is that no? It's not Gavin on the right.
Not actual like furry paws or whatnot. I actually got these from Walmart, and Yeah.
I see. So this is your casual Friday night look.
Please. I wish it was. Okay. Sadly, no.
All right, this is obnoxious. I don't know how I could how much longer. It's not the fact that he's completely like crazy that's bugging me. It's that he's just kind of annoying.
All right. So you have a normal job, and people at your job presumably don't know that this is your thing.
Well, I wouldn't really care if they did. In fact, I won an art competition at my store last month for the holidays. I wish I would have sent you that image. But yeah, it was of my persona, my candy corn.
The fucking eyes are weirding me out. How there's like an indent. There's like his eyes are like embedded beyond there's like a depth to his eye holes, and that's weirded me out, dude. Like, it reminds me of Chuck E. Cheese, and like there's the fact that there's a person in there and not a robot is way scarier than the Chuck E. Cheese fucking robots, dude.
One doggo popping out of a pumpkin, and they won a gift basket.
Okay.
Super fun.
Well, congratulations on the gift basket.
Woo! A lot of candy.
Let me ask you the thing that everybody's going to be wondering. The thing that we all secretly want to know. Who hurt you? How did you end up like this pumpkin? Because I met you before you put it on, and you seem so nice and normal. And then I'm thinking to myself, and then they get together in these mid-priced business hotels, and you know, just outside Chicago, and they do things to each other. Dressed like this.
Well, I was kind of wondering the same thing about you.
What happened?
How did that even happen?
Well,
did you make that up, or did someone make it for you?
My persona was selected for me. By somebody who told me that snow leopards are hungry bottoms. Now, I have no idea what that means, but I'm told. In fact, I think we have a picture of my persona. Here is Princess Sparkle Claws.
Glorious.
Now, how do you feel about Princess Sparkle Claws?
Why do they always look like teenagers? Why does the furry have to look like he's like 16? I don't like it.
Glorious.
Are you attracted to Princess Sparkle Claws?
In an aesthetic manner, yes.
So no.
Yeah, that's weird. The fucking tail's all enlarged like a dick.
There's a close-up. Let's see
look like a bot.
We can improve your
you see that
opinion.
Again?
There's a close-up of Princess Sparkle Claws. Let's get a close-up.
Oh, yes. This was the image that went viral.
You still don't find this hot?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay. Oh, I've been rejected by a fluorescent wolf. No, fox, excuse me. Now, another lovely ensemble from Princess Sparkle Claws. Here's my final, and there we go. See, still nothing.
That one looks like Tony the Tiger. That one's like not as good as, it's not as slick as the teenage-looking one, but I like, it's more amateur, the artist. But that's why I like that. I don't know. I don't really know. Now I'm judging like actual furry drawings, and that kind of makes me wanna. That makes me feel like I'm getting involved and sucked in to furdom, which is definitely alarming to me. Like it's. But hey, who's to judge?
Even with the Gucci track pants. No. All right, never mind. I tried. You say that you got into this fandom originally because you were looking for things to draw, but obviously it's taken on a life of its own. You're now you're now a moderator in chats, and you've become quite a well-known member of your subculture.
For better or worse, yeah.
What does it mean to you now? Is this a part of your sexual identity? Is it a part of your whole identity? Do you identify with the fox?
First of all, I'm a doggo.
You're a doggo, excuse me. Excuse me.
Candy corn canine.
Oh, you're right, I'm sorry.
But yeah,
you know, because they all have these cute faces and heads. Sometimes you can't tell between the dogs and the wolves and the foxes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But it's not a part, like, I'm not, you know, in tune with the whole identitarian political nonsense. It's not a part of my sexual identity, because it has nothing to do with that.
But have you had sex with people in costume?
No. Are you kidding me? Dude, do you know how expensive this is? I'm not going to ruin it.
But people do that.
They do, and they're reckless.
Reckless because...
I mean,
he's saying other people are reckless as he's wearing a Nazi-esque armband.
Because the outfits are expensive.
Are you kidding? Yeah, they are.
But is that the only reason that it's reckless?
Financially, yes, it would be.
Okay.
Financially, just financially. That's fine.
It's not something I'm into.
Not socially, just financially.
But you know, some people do, and that's their problem.
I don't like the way he's moving his head so much. Like, is that? It's really not making me like him. I'm not being won over by this guy. He's a bad representation of the furry community. Like, and Milo is asking very reasonable questions.
I don't know that you do this.
Milo looks completely sane compared to this guy. And who's the guy in the suit on the right? just wearing a fucking wolf over his beard, not fully covering. That's even weirder.
Mum and Dad know about this?
They do, yeah.
And what does your mum think about it?
Oh, my mother. Bless her heart. She's okay with it, I guess. At the end of the day, it's really just, a fun hobby for me, so.
Okay. There is a problem in the social justice end of the fandom.
That is correct.
This seems to be a fandom that is overwhelmingly dominated by white gay men, and more often than not, they are very left-wing white gay men. And there is an overlap, believe it or not, with Antifa. Some people who are out with their black...
What a surprise. A bunch of soy boys and Antifa like to dress up as animals.
balaclavas of a daytime come home to do this of an evening. You seem to be quite... You've got all the...
I'm very familiar with that
aspect.
You've
got the gestures down pat, if you don't mind me saying. It's lovely.
Speaking of soy boys, really quick... Speaking of that podcast that I guess I'm gonna be on, unless I get canceled from it, Everyone Hates You. They brought up this meme, this soy boy meme. They asked the guest, "Did you make this soy boy meme?" And then I googled it, and apparently, like, there's this meme where a bunch of local comedians are in it, and I guess it's right here. So these are all comedians. From Chicago, or at least not from Chicago, but they've been through the Chicago comedy scene. And I don't know what this means. I just know it came up on Google Images when all I did was type soy boy meme, and I don't get it. So it says, when the soy boys get a Nintendo Switch, and it's not even in the right format of a meme. Like, usually the bottom text is like another thing. It's not just a continuation. It's not just a sentence that finishes from the... So I don't get it. It just shows a bunch of men who, and there's a woman behind them waving, and I don't get it at all. What does Nintendo Switch mean, and why are they smiling? Maybe I'm just not smart enough, but I just wanted to bring it up. Maybe someone can tell me what it's all about, and it just had to do with, it just popped. I was just curious if anyone knows what the hell that's about.
Yeah, all that shit.
Thank you.
Now, why do you think that so many of your furry brethren are crazed socialists?
Honestly, it's the SJW infiltration. This is something that's been happening
my
since
language.
Really around late 2015, early 2016. And, Tu Griffin did mention this before when, he was canceled, essentially, for, jokes he made on Twitter or social media, years before. And people are just so offended and so easily... platforms like
I'd find
Twitter,
it quite tough to be offended by you.
Well, thank you.
But it
hope
turns
not.
out there are some people on the internet who find you quite objectionable, these social justice warriors.
They do.
Okay, but isn't it also true, and this is my observation of other fandoms...
I think the reason Milo had this guy on was to make Milo just look normal, Like, I don't find this guy offensive. I just find him weird. And I'm talking about the guest that Milo's talking to. Milo is one of the most hated people on the planet. But this fucking fur douche is making him look like the most...
and hobbies as well, but it seems to reach its zenith. It reaches an apotheosis, an apex, in these more offbeat fandoms of them. The crazy social justice warriors also seem to have a bit of a sexual deviance problem beyond what is obviously
Stop moving your head, dude.
There seems to be.
I guess I can't make fun of him too much for moving his head around. It's part of his fur persona. So I mean, I think I'm being racist against furries by not accepting him. But hey, I'm trying.
If you don't mind me saying, a bit of a kiddie fiddler problem among the most left-wing, who are often also people in positions of influence or power or authority in the conventions and all the rest of it.
That's necessarily not untrue. Yeah. Of course, Epstein didn't kill himself, by the way. But yes.
All right, that's where he lost me. Dude, he's just reciting dumb memes. Epstein didn't kill himself. Yeah, hilarious. This is where he loses me. Like, this fur guy, not that interesting, turns out. He just happens to support Trump and also be a furry. We don't have to spend more than this amount of time on him. And I don't really think Epstein didn't kill himself. I think he did kill himself. I think it's not that hard to believe he didn't. I mean, it's not that hard to believe that someone who's about to go to trial and then prison for the rest of his life didn't really want to go through that. Like, he lived on an island for a reason, because he liked not living in society around a bunch of people who are gonna, like, vilify him. Like, it's not that hard to believe he killed himself. I would love to be proven wrong. So that's probably enough Milo. You know, like, I guess this is basically turning into the Milo episode, but I would like to actually have him on the show, but I'm not high profile. I'm not nearly big enough to get someone like that on the show. He's really famous. And let's just watch this thing. Richard Spencer's racial slurs.
You want to support Rollerbark Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Right. Every dollar that you give to us.
Just get to the thing.
Speaking of a racist, Richard Spencer, we try to put a respectable face on the alt-right, frankly, white supremacy.
What do you mean put a respectable face? He's the one who started the alt-right. What are you talking about? He is the alt-right. He's the leader. Put a respectful face on it. He's the face.
Caught on tape using racist slurs against African Americans and Jewish people. Oh, no shock. The audio was released on YouTube by one of his rivals, former Breitbart writer Milo Yiannopoulos, who's actually gone broke because, well, he's a bigot as well. Boy, ain't nothing like white racists on white racist crime.
Yeah. Okay,
look at God.
That's pretty. You're getting a little excited there with the white talk there. I mean, what if I said about black people being racist and, like, smiling? Why would I smile when I'm talking about racism? That's not, like, a fun topic. Apparently it is this guy, whoever the fuck this is.
Look at God. Here's the audio.
We're coming back here like a fucking 100 times. I am so mad. I am so fucking mad at these people. They don't do this to fucking me. We're gonna fucking ritualistically humiliate them.
Whoa.
I am coming back here every fucking weekend if I have to. Like, this is never over. I win. They fucking lose.
That's a fancy word to say in the middle of a fucking toxic rant. We're gonna ritualistically fuck these people up.
That's how the world fucking works. Little fucking kites. They get ruled by people like me. Little fucking octoroons.
Octoroons? I gotta Google that shit. What's an octoroon? I've never heard that before. It's a person who is 1/8 black. What? That's so specific. So your parent is what? So that's so removed. So if you're 1/8 black, there's still a slur for you. That's pretty funny.
My ancestors fucking enslaved them pieces of fucking shit. I rule the fucking world. Those pieces of shit get ruled by people like me. They look up and see a face like mine looking down at them. That's how the fucking world works.
Why is he so mad? What did someone do to him? Like, I get that he's a white supremacist, so it's no surprise that he's talking about white supremacy, but what caused the rant? Because he's very worked up right now, and I get why this host was smiling when he brought up, because this is a joy to listen to. I mean,
destroy this fucking town.
He said octoroon. Like, I learned a new not that I'm gonna use it, but it's funny to know. It's not funny. I mean, it's obviously kind of unfortunate that there's a slur for someone who's 1/8 black. Like, it's unfortunate, but to learn something, it's just kind of funny. And then quadroon. is someone clear, obviously, who's a quarter black. Yeah, I'm not celebrating. I just never. I'm just gleeful to learn something. Not that I'm ever gonna use it. And then there's hexadecaru. What the fuck? You have to be a mathematician to be that type of racist.
Yeah. So
see, when I had
you have to know your fractions to be that racist, dude.
When I had Richard Spencer on TV1, and it was very interesting when I had him on, because one, here's why I did it. Now, one, we knew he was an absolutely racist white supremacist. But
yeah, that's kind of redundant, isn't it? He's an absolutely racist. Doesn't white supremacist kind of imply racism? I mean,
see, I wanted people to understand the game, okay? Because see what happened. All these media people were writing about how he dresses, the whole preppy look. He went to a private school in Dallas. Went to Duke. What did he say? Who was his mentor? His white racist mentor at Duke? Stephen Miller.
Well, Stephen Miller. He was Stephen Miller's mentor.
So all the races hung together. So all the little races hung together, and it was very interesting too because see, so when he asked me who I was, and I love all these stupid people who don't know how to debate. He thought I was going to say black man, and I told him, I said, I'm a man. He was like. See, my deal is, I love throwing people off when you're debating him. And I was sitting here and I was just letting him just dig his hole deeper and deeper. Because I wanted to show people, one, how clueless and ignorant these folks are, and how they try to play this little cute game of, no, we've got no problem with y'all. We just want our own piece of the world. No, these are the people who have no problem with Trump in office. The people right here. Because Trump pushes their little buttons of demographic changes, the whole white fear, stuff along those lines. And when this audio gets leaked, like, Richard, we knew that's who you were. We knew you were racist.
That was like water is wet.
Yeah, but that's just him. What does that have to do with Trump? I mean, okay. Yeah, Richard Spencer's the dude who founded the alt-right. He wants a white ethno-state. Obviously, that's kind of racist. I think that's... Is it? It's not the definition of racist. It's white. It's definitely the definition of white separatist. If you're splitting hairs, if you're a white nationalist, which is how Richard Spencer identifies himself, yeah, that's that could be seen as racist for sure. If you're a white separatist, but I guess if you really want to, he would probably claim that no, I'm not racist. I'm not a supremacist. I just wanted an ethno-state. And come on. It's pretty hard to defend that.
We knew that. You know. And Milo as well.
Yeah. And
Milo, what does Milo have to do with this?
His games that he's played.
Yeah, and that's my thing about, I'm not surprised that Richard Spencer was caught on camera or video, audio, anywhere saying that. And
no shit, but yeah, we know him. He's all right. But what about fucking Milo? Where's the... It says that Milo is the one who leaked the tape. So it's just guilt by association. Not that I'm defending Milo. Milo could certainly be a racist. I'm just trying to find the evidence.
And for all of that mouth that he had, talking about what he would do, he didn't do that when he came here when the inauguration, when somebody knocked him in his mouth here. During Trump's inauguration. In fact, he had the police come, they crowded around him. So for all of that bravado that he had about what he was going to do, he didn't bring it to the people when he came here.
He damn sure didn't raise his voice with me.
Look what he just posted. Milo just posted this. He said, someone said, Milo acts like he's fearless, but he won't even mention Nick in this video. The dude who literally started this trend that Milo is riding. And then Milo responded, he's my main guest next week, you stupid cunt. It's pretty funny.
Well, he's not going to do that. But Milo, I mean, dude, seriously, you of all people, because they're two peas in the same pod. We don't even have to overanalyze that.
Him and, what's this guy's name?
Milo or Richard?
Spencer. Milo and Spencer actually hate each other.
Yeah, no. But they're two sides of the same coin.
They hate each other because they're competing for the same audience.
Right.
Oh, well.
And they're competing for the same money.
They do the same thing.
The same audience? I'm in Milo's audience, but I'm not in Richard Spencer's audience, dude. I don't think they're correct about that. I don't think I don't think it's accurate to say that Milo is alt-right. Like, it says that on his Wikipedia, but who gives a fuck about that? Wikipedia is very, they kind of are biased, I think. Too lazy to type out his whole name. Milo Yiannopoulos says he's a British far-right political commentator. It says that in the article, but then right here on the sidebar, under movement, it says alt-right / alt-light. But I don't think I've ever seen Milo be pro whatever the alt-right wants, which would be white supremacism, white separatism, anti-Semitism. Like, I just don't know if that's correct to say he's a white nationalist. We'll keep watching.
And both of them are trying to present this other view. See, this is the thing that people need to understand about white mainstream media. They fall for the okie doke because, see, a Spencer and a Milo, they don't wear Klan hood.
Nope.
See, so it's it's how they dress. It's the tweed jackets with little patches and everything.
And that's what made it fascinating to everybody.
Precisely. Whereas we always understood the White Citizens Council in Mississippi, in Georgia, in Dallas, and other places, they were made up of the respectable people.
Right.
They were made up of the
judges,
judges, the sheriffs, the mayor. Anybody else saw the Taraji Henson movie Best of Enemies, which was a great movie, She did not play some lackey who was just sitting here making white folks feel comfortable. She played this hardcore black actor.
Why do the guys say white folks? That's kind of like, seems like they're just kind of putting them in a box, like all like just, oh, this is for white folks. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to give them a chance to demonstrate how Milo's a bigot, as it says in the title, but I don't really think that's their goal. I don't really know if they're really going to do that. Seems like they just like to be divisive by saying that white folks like to get their media in a certain way, and I don't know. I don't really like this guy, but also, why would I?
Activists in Durham, North Carolina. And in that movie, her nemesis was the head of the Klan there. Well, guess who was in bed with him? Bankers, the mayor, the city council, and that's the reality. But see, Spencer comes along with this whole new message, this new sheen, and media starts talking about how his whole preppy look. No, racists will be racist. This is what they say and do. And so you got Milo, Mac, lost his book deal, got kicked off YouTube.
Lost like $2 million.
All that complaining about.
No, he's $2 million in debt.
Right, and complaining about how I'm broke, and I'm like, I really don't care if a bigot is broke. Sorry, that's what you are. And so it is hilarious.
Right. They're not gonna say how he's a bigot. I don't feel like watching more of that. Is Milo a bigot? Probably, but who isn't a bigot to some idea? You know, bigot just means you reject someone for their ideas. And I'm sure, yeah, if you reject SJWs or Antifa, you're technically a bigot. I don't know. I don't know why I'm defending I guess because I just want to have him on this show. If he says something that I think is racist, I'll definitely call him out. Leaked audio, yay! So I don't know why all I type was Milo Yee, and I don't know why Richard Spencer's coming out. They're not the same person, I don't think. One is clearly hotter than the other. Richard Spencer's not that attractive. Let's look at pictures of Richard Spencer really quick so we could judge him on looks alone. So I type Richard Spencer and look what comes up. Not Richard Spencer. Some other dude. How obnoxious. All right, let's just scroll down. That's what he looks like. He's okay looking, you know. He looks, you know, he does look kind of like a Nazi to be, just by his hair, just by his look alone. He does look kind of racist. And I don't like that. I don't like the way he looks. He looks smarmy in a bad way. Milo looks smarmy, but in a fucking pirate kind of, like in a fucking business, like in a cool, I have like a boat, like a Playboy, like he looks more fun to hang around kind of way. Like, look at his hair there. Never mind, I thought it was blue. That'd be the opposite of what he would probably... And then he's wearing a MAGA hat. I don't know. It's hard to look good in a MAGA hat. But if anyone can pull it off... Like, look, he's got a sparkle. He's got a sparkly MAGA hat. That's pretty funny. You know? Like, if you're going to wear one, you might as well wear the most stylish one possible. Anyway, this episode... does not have to go much longer. And then, so I was going to look up a couple more things. I was going to read about anti-Irish sentiment because it's something I never really heard about before. Oppression, persecution, discrimination, or hatred of Irish people. I think that's interesting because it's not just white people, it's Irish people. It's more specific, you know? I never really heard about the Irish diaspora. And when did this happen? So this was in the Middle Ages, the early modern age, and the Age of Enlightenment in Australia, North America, Great Britain. And it was cultural, racial. I like that how it's like racial. It says it's racial. I didn't know that Irish people, I didn't know that was like a race. But maybe it is. I don't really know. I mean, look at this picture right here. So it's a picture. It's a picture of like I guess an Irish guy. He looks like an ogre type deal, like a monster of like a weird. I don't think Irish people look like that. But hey, that's propaganda for you. It's powerful anti-Irish propaganda. Look at this one. It's an Irishman as a gorilla. So even Irish people were... So that's pretty weird. It's pretty extreme, dude. Pickled cabbage. See, that's how you know it's an Irish person. Because otherwise, how would you know that's an Irish person? So what caused this? Why do people hate Irish people? Like, I mean, why do people hate anyone? I guess is the good question. But, I mean, so that's one thing I wanted to read about. But apparently there was a time where people hated Irish people, and that's it's not that hard to believe. I mean, people probably hate everybody. You know, like Italians. There's so many words for slurs for Irish Americans. All of them are funny. I mean, I meant Italian Americans. It's a lot of slurs for Italians, and I think that's kind of... They're all funny, but also, I guess it's a real thing to... what's with this? Oh, yeah, I was going to also look up red hair and prejudice and discrimination against redheads, because that kind of reminded me of this from Irish... Not that all Irish people have red hair, and not that all red-haired people are Irish. But there is a real thing... There's a real prejudice and discrimination against redheads, and it started, I guess, in the medieval times, dude. Let's read. Red hair was thought to be a mark of a beastly sexual desire and moral degeneration. A savage red-haired man is portrayed in the fable by Grimm brothers as the spirit of the forest of iron, whatever the hell that means. And then they're described by how the blood of a red-haired young man is necessary to create gold from copper in a mixture. This is bizarre. This is not relevant to today's age and time, you know, like, but people... And then there's medieval anti-Semitism. So people of red hair during the Spanish Inquisition were identified as Jewish and isolated for persecution. In medieval Italy and Spain, red hair was associated with the heretical nature of Jews and their rejection of Jesus. Interesting. So you see, if you had red hair, they thought you were a Jewish Jesus hater. And then let's just go to modern day. In 1885, in some book called I Say No, the prejudice against habitual silence among the lower order of the people is almost as inveterate as the prejudice against red hair. Okay. This is not quite modern if we're talking about the 1800s. Can we go a little bit Okay. In British English, the term ginger is sometimes used to describe red-headed people at times in an insulting manner, with terms such as gingerophobia, gingerism. And in Britain, redheads are also sometimes referred to as disparagingly as carrot tops and carrot heads. The comedian Carrot Top uses this as a stage name. Yes, yes, he does. Gingerism has been compared to racism, although this is widely disputed, as bodies such as the UK Commission for Racial Equity did not monitor cases of discrimination and hate crimes against redheads. That would be interesting if they did. I think it's interesting that they don't, though, because if you hate somebody for being a redhead, yeah, I don't know if it's racism. It's more like colorism, I think, you know? It's more like just hate towards physical appearance. Not quite racism, but similar to it. Like, you could probably commit a hate crime against redheads, so why not monitor it? And then there's a picture of a redhead dude. I guess that's a disparaging image. I don't know. And nonetheless, individuals and families in Britain are targeted for harassment and violence because of their hair color. In 2003, a 20-year-old was stabbed in the back, literally, for being ginger. In 2007, a UK woman won an award from the tribunal after being sexually harassed and receiving abuse because of her red hair. Because of her red hair, huh? Yeah, so there's all these instances of people being abused for having red hair. So people are fucking dicks to people with red hair. Oh, and then it says a schoolboy committed suicide after being bullied for having red hair. So yeah, that's a hate crime. Has nothing to do with your skin color even. It's just your hair color, you know? So I thought it was interesting because one of those things you don't really hear about people about. There's no like awareness. There's no people saying not to. I mean, obviously there's that viral video where the dude says stop fucking hating on gingers. That was like easily 10 years old, and that dude's still around. He's still on YouTube. He actually boxed Gavin McInnes, which is actually one of the videos on Freeze. So it's very relevant. It comes full circle, dude. Like, if you look it up, Gavin McInnes boxing, the first thing that comes up is him boxing Copper Stuff, which I guess is the dude's name that I'm talking about, the redhead who was made famous about 10 years ago when he went viral by complaining about, you know, being discriminated, being made fun of, dude. Isn't that crazy, dude? So Gavin just decided to box him, and for some reason it's pretty funny. So if we go to videos, you'll see there's videos about it.
Hard times create strong men, and then strong men create good times. But there's a problem there, because good times end up creating weak men, and what do weak men do? They create hard times. And so...
Alright, that's enough of that. Free speech, blah, blah, boxing banter. Yeah, this vid is probably the best one to play.
If you want to get laid, you gotta grow balls! I'm proud to be a social justice warrior, okay? Everyone keeps calling me that in the comments, and no one is gonna fuck you, ever! I'm trying to help you.
All you do is kowtow to the latest trend! And you do it because you're a pussy! Because you didn't grow up with a father! Be a fucking man! You're
So that's pretty funny. So Gavin was yelling at him. You get
fucking pathetic.
And then boxing. We want you to join a local gym, and you don't have to jump in the ring every 10 seconds. What we want you to do is just spar. Just hit the heavy bag.
About that is
and
I'm doing that.
Invest in some brassieres.
Be a fucking man!
Gavin. I'm sick of all of you motherfuckers thinking that you can talk shit to us liberals and get away with it. You think?
So that's the gist of it. Copper, whatever his name is, became, you know, more to the. He's still acting like a victim. Not that I have anything against that, because he seems like there's some justification about the whole ginger snap thing. You know, being hated on for being a ginger. I get that. But then he fucking got in shape, and they actually boxed, and that's pretty funny, dude. So to see that, you'd have to see the actual fight, like you'd have to subscribe to Free Speech TV, which I'm not advertising, because why would I? I don't even have a subscription for that, dude. I'm not paying for that shit, but it is pretty funny. So it's a good whatever. I think it's cool. I mean, I think it's a good piece. Gavin McInnes is the one that I keep talking about, and he creates very high quality content, like 1,000 times better than this. So I think it's a good place to wrap it up. This has been Scary Ideas, episode 16.
The Sergeant at Arms will restore order.